In other words, we're not dealing with something insignificant. We're dealing with something that's absolutely vital. Now, the problem with most Christians, as I observe it, is this. If you start to talk about not being under the law, but being under grace, and I have done this many times, the immediate reaction is, he's telling people they're free to commit adultery or get drunk. And actually, the habitual Christian reaction against the teaching of grace is extremely negative. People are afraid of grace. They think it's too easy. Completely mistaken, because what grace requires is much higher than what law requires. Law says you must love your brother, you can hate your enemy. What does grace say? You've got to love your enemy. Law says you mustn't commit adultery. What does grace say? You must even look on a woman to lust after in your heart. Law says you can only swear by certain things. Grace says don't swear at all. Don't imagine for a moment that what grace requires is lower than what law requires. It's far higher. The attitude of most Christians is, well, I don't think I can go in for grace. It's too risky. Really, it really is. So, it's pretty safe if I go in for law, because I know where I am with law. And I think the unstated reasoning is, well, at least with law I'll be safe. I may not quite achieve the pinnacles of grace, but I'll come pretty near. What I want to say emphatically to you tonight is you've got to bear in mind that the products of grace and law are exactly opposite. They're not rather close to one another, with grace being a little higher. On the contrary, exactly as we have seen, grace produces a martyr, law produces a murderer. And when you go in for law, you are actually giving rein to a force in your life which will make you a murderer. Isn't it strange, the awful things religious people do? Kill one another by hundreds of thousands with the most refined means of torture that they can discuss. Sincere, religious people who only wanted to do what was right. How did it come about? Because in exposing themselves to law, they exposed themselves to a religious force that produces murderers. In the 18th chapter of the book of Revelation, I wouldn't advise you to turn there right now, speaking about Babylon, the harlot religious system, it says that when God's judgments came upon her, in her was found the blood of prophets and apostles and martyrs and all that were slain upon the earth. In other words, every murder has a religious origin. The first one did, and all the others did. The motivation that causes men to seek righteousness through law is pride, and it produces self-confidence. Faith is incompatible with pride. It begins with humility. Many people have got a false concept of faith which permits a very proud, arrogant, self-assertive attitude. That is not true faith. For Paul says in Romans 3:27, where is boasting then? It is excluded. By what kind of law? Of works? No, but by a law of faith. In other words, the law of faith excludes boasting. It abases human pride. It leaves no room for pride. Faith says, I can't make it by the law. I can't achieve it by my own effort. I'm going to have to trust God all the way. Look for a moment in Habakkuk chapter 2 verse 4. This is the prophetic scripture on which the doctrine of justification by faith is based in the New Testament. This verse, the latter part of it, is quoted 3 times by Paul in the New Testament, in Romans, Galatians, and Hebrews. Habakkuk 2 and verse 4. Behold, his soul, which is lifted up, is not upright in him, but the just or the righteous shall live by his faith. Now, if you have a New American Standard Version, it's slightly different. And it's very condensed Hebrew. There are many different possible ways of translating it. But I would say, and I've been writing a book on this, and I've been studying this verse rather carefully, that the King James probably gives you a better picture of the meaning of the prophet in this verse. There are 2 things that are opposite. The self-exalting soul of man, which says I can do it by my own effort, and the faith which says, I'll never make it by my own effort. I'm going to help.